All right. How are you, Seth? I cannot hear you. Uh,
Back in the saddle.
mm, there we go. There
Here
we
we
go.
are. Amen.
Yeah.
Well, Israel, I
Writing.
saw in the
Writing,
new.
you say.
Yeah, riding in the saddle. I saw Israel's in the news. It's heating up there. The United States is also on fire. Not half. The left part is on
Yeah.
fire.
Oh,
The
that kind of fire.
southeastern part
Yeah,
is
sure.
underwater. So we're getting it from all sides. Looks like you guys are getting it from all sides.
Yeah, the world is getting from all
Interesting week.
sides. The world is being pressed, everybody. Welcome to the Great Transition.
Welcome to the
We're
great transition, everyone.
Yes, we are kind of welcoming you to the show every time we say that, but really we are just expressing nature's welcome to this era of the Great
On behalf of
Transition
nature,
on
as
behalf of
often I would like to
nature.
say.
So yeah,
I don't only
go.
play a doctor on TV, but how would that fit here? Not only do I speak for nature on TV, but I also know. Um, I'm dealing
uh,
with I mean, so there's like global things happening. Even at work, I'm having every day this week. It's like I wake up and as soon as I like get ready to start work, like something punches me in the head, like someone wants to
mm,
sue me, or someone's like wants to break something, or like there's some kind of problem, or so I have another company that does the same thing that my company does in. We have a service business, like mostly in New York, New Jersey,
yeah.
and so now he was trying to like we when we have a contract with somebody, he was trying to break those contracts, and now his new technique is he's trying to poach our employees. We already put him on
Okay.
notice, like can't do that. We have restrictive covenant. You're not supposed to do that. But he's trying to do it anyway. So anyway, talking about it, and we are uh, you can't stop these things. It's like the cartoon when like you put your finger in the levee to try and stop it, and the water pops out here, and then you put your finger
Oh.
there, and then you put your nose in there, and we're just this collection of desires. And I was talking to some colleagues at work about it, and they're like, why are you always trying to change human nature? Don't you understand? You can't change human nature. That's just how people are. That's a no. It's so hard to explain. I'm not saying to change human nature. Human nature is what human nature is, but can't we just aim it a little differently, right? So we're this collection of desires. Um, I want food. I want to feel good. I want a hug. I want money, whatever. And then, so this guy, he's got some desire inside him, right? He's got some desire. I want to be the king of the New York service business. I don't know, whatever his desire is, right? And then his thoughts go, what can I do? I'm going to go after Seth. I'm going to. So it's like the thoughts. If he wants to feel good about it, if a person wants to feel good, we got to be able to aim that desire in a way that's not um, I'm using. Let's put my business aside. It's not about that, but the desires. We're a
We
collection of
started getting
desires.
interested. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me. Okay, I don't want to get too personal about it, but we can't. The point is, we can't do anything about these desires. I'm trying to steer this back to where I wanted to go in the show because I could just talk about my business, but I'm trying to switch gears here. Um, we need to figure out a way to come closer to each other because we're killing each other because uh, people are depressed, people are out of work, the countries are dividing, countries are at war now, and so and you have a lot of people praying and a lot of people doing all kind of things. We have this interesting thing called the wisdom of Kabbalah, this method that we're in, and it says that we have to start thinking about it. There's all of these barriers between you and me. But in our thoughts, if we can start to imagine what does it, even if I don't feel it yet, what does it mean to love you? What does it mean to understand you? What would it be like if I could see what you see? And then just from these exercises of sitting together and trying to do these exercises together, all of a sudden it's called the light, some kind of new light shines there because before I didn't have any room for you in my reality. But now that I start to listen to you, I start to imagine what it could be like to I have a barrier between me and you. I have my own desires. But if I start to imagine what could it be like to love you? What could it be like to see what you see? So then I start to feel my desires don't change, but I start to feel reality differently. I start to see a new reality. I start to see new parts of reality. This is really the tool that's in our hands. And I can't talk like this at work. I'm trying to figure out a way to have these kind of conversations with colleagues without sounding like a weirdo. But it's and people keep saying, "Oh, you're always philosophizing." I'm like, "Damn it, I'm not philosophizing. These are like laws of nature. These are laws. If we just keep."
Well, look, we're living in a jungle, and you're telling people, hey, you know what? We can rearrange this whole jungle to be like an amazing paradise. So obviously, that thought sounds, far fetched in the least. What can you do? But for those who have enough uh, despair, frustration, suffering, pain with the current state, and
Mhm.
B, vision, creativity, forward thinking, passion, desire for something new, people with who are somewhere on that spectrum between A to B, between these two things, can kind of hear you. That's why and for all the others, they have to either develop more suffering and frustration from the current state, or more passion and inspiration towards something new, so they can even agree that the jungle, that there is a reality outside the jungle. that's
So
that's kind of where we are,
when things
and the
start to
great transition is 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 showing us, is where nature is showing us that we can actually, and we have to, get out of the jungle and rearrange the jungle.
I'm a
Yeah.
little bit nervous about it because things are in a sense kind of calming down a little bit, and people, okay, we're not getting sick, um, it's still more beneficial now, I think, to stay unemployed than to actually be at work in the United States. If you're unemployed, you might be getting more than you were employed, but people are kind of calm a little bit. But I'm nervous about this, Asaf, because if people are comfortable, they don't move. And uh, we started the show talking about the fires and the floods and whatever. So we're not going to say everybody's comfortable. But
Yeah.
I don't know that like 1 + 1 is equaling 2 there. Like, okay, there's fires and there's floods, and we still don't feel that we have anything to do with it. It's like, oh, another more crap happening in 2020. Just like, look, another thing happened. It's not like um, that this is part of if we understood that we were part of an integral system, we would understand that these things are connected.
I think
But
that I think, bro, that it's evolution is not a linear process, right? And it's not a smooth curve either. It's a bumpy road. And so we go through ups and downs. So we go through eruptions, and then we go through phases of evolution where it seems like nothing is happening, or it seems like we're not making conclusions, or it seems like we're not making progress, but we are cooking, we are ripening, we are brewing. Things are happening under the surface, and then an eruption happens. And that's how evolution works. This is not my invention, this is nature's invention. If you take a look at millions of years of evolution of the still vegetative and animate levels, you see that this is how it works. This is how new creatures emerge. This is how new cells connect and suddenly uh, uh, find a new configuration that gives rise to a new level of being. This is what's happening to us right now. So I think that we had the coronavirus, right? This eruption of COVID. Boom, the whole world feels connected. All of a sudden, boom, we're all interdependent around the globe. Half the world is on lockdown. 60% of air pollution is down. Everything's changing. What is this movie? It's like you're looking up to the sky and everyone around the world are seeing a spaceship. And then all of a sudden, we kind of get used to it, and it seems like,
And it's their
okay,
fault, and it's their
it's
fault,
their
and they're
fault.
causing the problem. It's their
Exactly. Yeah. So let's go. You know what? This is actually, maybe it's an opportunity for more politicization, for more whatever. Maybe we can make money on COVID. That's a phenomenon too. You
Not
know.
only, by the way, not only maybe, there's certain people who are making,
There you go.
people have never made so much money as going on right now.
Sure, because
So
in the jungle thrives on fear, right? And anxiety and things like that. And so once again, so does that mean we're going backwards? It certainly seems like that, but I don't think that is the case. I think what we're seeing is a phase of evolution. It's some sort of a circular motion. Kabbalist Yehuda Ashlag says that this evolution of the human being works like a bicycle wheel, where you go forward, one part of the wheel is going forward, but at the same time, it's also going backwards, right? And so we're on this wheel of evolution, and because we're on it, we can't see it from outside, but it's actually moving forward by these ups and downs. And so this is what's happening. We're in the midst of the great transition. The world is not coming back, not going back to where it was. There is less and less people who think this way. I think what we're up against now, where we're at, is people are asking, do we have to? I think that's what we're
okay,
coming
so
to.
Nala on YouTube
Yeah,
says, "What kind of connection are you talking about?" Like, especially specifically, Nala saying for people we don't know. But yeah, what do I have to do? How am
yeah.
I supposed to connect
I
with these
tell you
people? What do
what,
you mean?
I think this is a great time to bring our guest on. So so how is that? I mean, we will need it. We're gonna need a minute here to bring our guest on. Maybe you say a few words about him.
Yeah, I was going to ask our producer to do the special thing with the lights and the smoke and bring in the music. If you could just push the, oh,
Right.
if there's no producer yet here.
So we can
Okay.
uh,
Um,
we can
so
try that.
hello everyone. Hi, Kiko from, hi, I know you from Kabu in Egypt. Wow.
I'll say a word about Nala's question. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So say it again. Maybe ask it again, just to.
Okay. First of all, hello everybody. Wow. Hi, Andres. Hello everybody. Hey, David, Lisa. We'll do a global check. We see all of you with us. It's
Yes,
awesome to
yes,
be
yes. We
together.
see we see a lot of
Um,
people, Facebook, YouTube. Great to see you guys.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Nala on YouTube is saying, what is the kind of connection you're mentioning for people we don't know?
Right. So we are,
Most of the people.
yeah, we there's so many ways to answer this. We're talking about this all the time. In every show we talk about an aspect of it. What I feel like saying now is that the kind of connection that we're talking about is where we firstly recognize that we all depend on each other. It's very simple. That's a simple thing. We have a shared home, we have a shared health situation, we have a shared economic situation that's going to become clear. Our well being is interdependent. We all depend on each other. That's level one. And then level two is where we start entering that interdependence, not by force, not by being pushed, but rather by pushing ourselves to it, by entering it with our hearts and our minds. And then we'll discover that what we're entering is actually an invitation from nature to rise to a whole new level of perception, a whole new level of experience, a new dimension that exists right here all the time. It's right around us. All of nature feels it, all of nature is in it. And we have now grown to a point in the 21st century where human consciousness can finally enter that field of connection that exists throughout all of nature. That connection is going to give us a new taste to life. It's going to give us a new flavor for waking up every morning. It's going to give us a new air to breathe. Uh, and as a side
So,
effect, will change our world completely.
Nala, when you meet somebody that you don't know, for example, try this as like an experiment. Imagine if you split yourself into two, into the bodily Nala and into the spiritual Nala. In the bodily Nala, if you're in the grocery store, or if you're on the soccer pitch, or if you're whatever you're doing, you do whatever you need to do. You grab the milk, you pay with the money, you say have a nice day, and whatever. Also, inside of you, on the spiritual side, you're saying, here's a creature of nature. I'm a creature of nature. Look how the nature made this peacock and this rhinoceros and this person with red hair and this one with blue. And that somehow, even though I don't understand it yet, I see that everything is part of one network. And what I want is for everything, what I want, even if it's not coming from the animal part, what I want is somehow to feel, to see that everything is existing as part of one whole. And even by starting to do that already, you're drawing light to it. You're doing that, and others are doing that, and it's starting to build that reality. Because alternatively, all of the media that we watch is pulling us back down into our body, like pulling us back down into fear, pulling us back down into anxiety. So now, while we live here, it's not a method where we go to a mountaintop and do that. But while we're living here, we're also developing this other part, and something, perception, begins to change. Awesome question. How are we doing with our guest, Asaf? Not yet. Okay, let's tell you where the hearts are flying on Facebook over here. Okay, we are joined now. We have friends here from Ohio, Quebec, Oregon, Bursa, Turkey, Nairobi, Litchfield. Where's Litchfield? Scotland, Ireland, Costa Rica. Hello, Costa Rica. I think that's first time. Denmark, Colombia, Nigeria, LA. Oh, I hope you're okay in LA. Egypt, Washington, Brooklyn, Toronto, Indiana, Colorado, and South Carolina. Okay, Heather Brown is asking a question on YouTube. Do you think fear can bring about disconnectedness? Sure. When we are, I think that's the primary tool of the government and the media, is to keep everybody as frightened as possible and to keep everybody as disconnected as possible in order to profit and in order to get votes. But as students of the wisdom of Kabbalah, we're not like against this politician or against that. That's just the nature of those kind of creatures. We don't look for a solution to come through them. Of course, there is got to be some kind of government. Someone needs to take care of the roads and the infrastructure and all those things. Uh, but really, everything is in our hands to do. And our work is to bring a something besides that. Yes, fear definitely brings disconnection.
All
Asaf, where
right.
where are we at? I feel like
I
we
think
together here.
yes. We are. Let's segue to our guest here. With us every second is Dr. Benzi Giertz. And Dr. Benzi Giertz, there we go. He's connecting right now. He is a dear friend of ours, but he's also an educator and a longtime chief editor uh, of many educational Kabbalah books. We can talk about that too. His PhD work is uniquely interesting, very interesting. We will probably talk about that as well. He is the creator of something called the Dialogue Circle, and he's with us right now. Benzi, we can see you already. Dr. Benzi Giertz, what's up? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
Can you hear
okay.
me?
We hear you. We hear you very nicely. We can even see you. Not bad.
Perfectly.
How are you?
Great. I'm very glad to be here in your program.
Did
It's
you manage to listen to what we were chatting for the last couple minutes?
no, I was going through a big transition at this time.
Right.
I
Yes.
was I was hoping you had listened. I was dealing with an issue in the workplace, and I was thinking that wanted to ask you practical advice about this dialogue circle. But before we jump into that, and it, I feel like for people who don't know you, we should just kind of set the stage for who you are, so they people don't realize we just grabbed some guy off the street to be on our show. We are all, everything that we speak about here, we learn from our teacher and from studying the wisdom of Kabbalah. You are with our teacher probably since not probably since the beginning, one of his first students. You also were involved in bringing the seminal book of the wisdom of Kabbalah, which is the Zohar, and making it available really for all of humanity, which I can't even. I'm kind of shaking just to even say something like that. Uh, a long time friend involved in so many projects, and now this kind of thing here, the dialogue circle. It's like you're Superman and Clark Kent, and it's like you put the uniform in the closet and you like come out as like a regular, yeah, let's talk about my PhD and talk about business and talk about how you can have a, deal with your anxiety. But behind that is so much experience and so much um, spiritual light. So that is who is joining us, everybody. Welcome. You also didn't hear, and I'll just tell you so you understand what's going on here. We have people here we have friends joining us from the US, from Canada, from Africa, from Europe, from the Middle East, North America, South America. So you got people with us from all over the world as well. Thank you, my
So,
friend, for being here. So, with that intro, I felt like we
to,
had to touch on that, Asaf. We couldn't just
sure,
jump into
sure.
the dialogue circle without understanding what's going on here.
Okay, I agree. Benzi, tell us, what is the dialogue circle? What is unique in this doctoral work that you did, and how is it relevant to the great transition that's happening today? Take the stage. Go ahead, and we'll.
Okay. So after many years investigating and studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, involving in many projects of content development in Kabbalah, in education, in science. My first occupation is electrical and computer engineering. So that's why I have been involved in many disciplines. So, and also one of the main interesting subject that I was also investigating and experiencing is the globalization. Since all these years from the end of 1990s until now, and all the crisis that started in 2008 and today that we are experiencing this COVID-19. So all of this together brought me, in addition, also my personal story that I was also seriously injured in an accident. I lost my sight in one eye, and so I had really a big change after dealing with computers, start dealing with people, and this was also really a big change to me, and this was also, I would say, a big transition as well in my life.
So,
So since then, I would say I'm always experiences I experience big transitions all the time. So every moment became really a transition and experiencing every time. So this dialogue circle is a result of a work of about 20 years. as I said, of editing and developing books, content. So I decided to search for a program and to write about the new attitude that we are searching for in our new era of globalization and of this global crisis. What should be our attitude, or any, I would say, a theoretical basis, how to analyze it really? What is, how should we formulate the problem? What is really the problem? What caused the crisis? And also, what is the solution to this? So I have aggregated all my knowledge, all my experiences with all these writings from the wisdom of Kabbalah, from other writings in education, in science, in physics, and brought into my work, my dissertation for the last 4 years that I was doing this work. And I was this work suggests it takes some main principles from the wisdom of Kabbalah and suggests how to convert it to an educational attitude, and then a practical tool to how should it would be realized. So the dialogue circle is the name, practically the name of this tool that comes from the wisdom of Kabbalah, comes from methods that were also incorporate scientific laws in science, and treats people basically their desires, because the desire is according to the wisdom of Kabbalah, and which this is the model I adapted in my work to analyze this global crisis as a crisis in desires, how desires are connected, how desires should be fulfilled, and what is the goal of this network of this of all of these desires. And all we know, all that this crisis stemmed not from any physical phenomenon, but because of people, how the way they organize, how the way they interpret, how we interpret the world, our goals, what our desires, how should we fulfill them, etc., etc., etc. And this work analyzes all these processes, all the transitions that now we can look there about all these outcomes from all this long time of development of the desires of the people throughout all these years then this earth exists. So the dialogue circle suggests a tool for people how to first get a new perception of and knowledge about this network of desires, and how they should experience this network, and how they should associate themselves to this network. And then it yields beautiful results, such as you can really get rid of your anxiety or
Oh, wait, Benzi,
any
one
yes.
second. Yeah, just 1 second, just before you go into all these
Okay.
practicalities of it. So I just want to just put some things on the table that you just said here that you just kind of breezed through them, but there's maybe like it's worthwhile to linger on them for a second. You're saying that the crisis, what we're calling the Great Transition, and you're calling the global crisis, let's say, two names for the same thing. You're saying that this is a crisis or a transition of desires. You're saying that you're looking at, from your perspective, all that's happening right now is happening to a network of desires, and that we are a network of desires. And your method, what you call the dialogue circle, right, is something that interferes or intervenes or fixes what's happening with our desires. Is that correct? And if so, then how does it work?
Yes. So uh, first of all,
Give us an
this network.
example. Yeah, give us an example so we can really, hold on to it.
Okay. So let's say if we speak about the transition of desires. So far, every desire, every man feels himself as a one separate particle. But we know that there there exists no such thing because no one is alone. Everyone is a part of a network, even if he's from his family is already a network of desires of that you need to connect, you need to communicate. So everywhere there is some like protocols in communication that you need to know how to work with it. So the main assumption here that once you start to experience yourself, feel yourself as a part of a network, and then all your behavior uh, starts to change because you work with a network. You know how to build this network, how to empower this network, how to enjoy from this network without harming this network.
Hold on, I think
So,
this might how to enjoy from it. So far, everything okay. I'm listening. I'm trying to follow you, but you know, I only want to do something that I'm going to benefit from. So what's in it for me? What like okay, nice theory, but why would I? Where are we going with this?
yes, you're right. So, uh, this is exactly what makes this spirit very special because all of this was really considered as a theory, something which cannot be realized or is not relevant. But now, especially in our days, like of this COVID-19 period, that all we feel ourselves like in one situation, in one pandemic, but one disease, and we all find ourselves without solution. So we all find ourselves in one situation, and because of this, it, that yields us to seek something which we don't have right now. We are looking for a solution, but as long as we are looking as a solution as separate particles, we will not get to any result. So this is a suggestion that now we all admit that we are in one situation. We depend on each other. Yes, we see how we try to develop together these vaccines for this COVID-19, and even countries try to support each other for masks and medicine, whatever. So, and we all the world, all humanity stopped like in one time, no flights and whatever. So now, if now we feel ourselves, we feel it, that we are all depend on each other, we are all connected, and if we now start treat ourselves, perceive like there is like new communication, new relationship when we are all as one. But this is the reality now. So let's not go backwards. Try to everyone will try to live as his has a separate his own life and to make the best he can without harming even the other. Yes, that's what we all claim, that we try to do our best without harming the other. But now the rules of this game, of this reality, have been changed. because now we all depend on each other. We see that if we are not related to each
where's the
other,
evidence?
we can all this pandemic will cause us, to be ill, sick. We cannot go get out, get rid of it. So there's like something makes us to change our behavior, our perception. Something force us to do it. Otherwise, we, what is going to happen with us? All we're going to get sick, get into the hospitals, and what will be the end? Or what? We have no solution.
When you talk about, I mean, you're saying that there's all kind of cooperation around the vaccine and stuff. Maybe. I mean, I just see different countries in the United States fighting to see who's going to come up with it first to get more profit. So when you talk about that, now we live in a global um, network. Can you give us really specific example of what that means, and then what does it mean as a person, where before the pandemic, before COVID-19, I got up in the morning, I did my work, I bought something, I bought my coffee, I threw the cup in the thing. I bought my sandwich, I threw the garbage in the trash can. I bought a new thing for my house, I threw the old one out. It'll go into a dumpster. What does it mean now that, first of all, that I'm a part of some global system, and second, that what I'm doing is affecting the system somehow, in this new world compared to the old world?
Yeah, so let's take a simple example like in a family. Okay, now because of this isolation, social distancing that we have now, so what happens? We all find ourselves more at home, and suddenly you see that you need to communicate more with your family members, with your children. Don't talk about even your wife. And then you find yourself in new situation. You spend much more time with them, and then you see their desires in a more enlarged form, what they want from you. Are you able to fulfill these desires? You find yourself not so comfortable also. You because this is a situation that you never imagined that you will find yourself. Uh, you find yourself that you're afraid what will be your future, your financial future. You find yourself in such situation that you don't know how to cope or how to explain. But the good thing here that makes you to relate to the other because you have no choice. And this situation where we find ourselves that we need to pay attention more to the other. And let's start from in our family. There is enough work to do and good work that will really give us a lot of good, may give us a lot of good results that can be even reflected then in outer circles. Um, I can say that many things, after many years, some problems in my family have been solved because of this time of this COVID-19. Because when you see when the situation does not change, you start to obey it, to
So
investigate what is happening here, and you change by yourself, even if it's not intentionally, but that makes you to change. And these changes are really the results of what is happening. If we say that we are all, if we evolve all the time, yes, we are not like stuck in one place in one time and life does not change. So we are like, this is part of our evolution, the evolution of our desires, let's say, or the evolution of our relationship. And I'm sure that there are a lot of examples that people can tell things, what happened to them while in this time of period of social distancing, and how did this affect them, and
so
how
is the
their
only
perception have been changed. Please, yes.
but is so is the is the plan then we're just going to sit and wait for the virus to hit us, then we'll be stuck at home, and then we'll wait for the fire to burn our house down, and then we'll realize we need our neighbors, and then we'll wait for the flood, and we'll wait for the war in Israel, and then then we'll finally be able to, is that is there's
I
so
think that um, one of the things we're touching on here is that we're all scared, afraid, anxious about what's happening.
yeah, but do we have to
Now,
wait until like more fear comes, like we have to wait until
uh,
the civil war starts, like,
Benzi, before you get into that, I want to say this. I read in preparation for the show today. Benzi, also you write articles. Let me show this actually for everyone to see. You write articles also like a series of articles on Medium that have to do with different aspects of what's happening today in the world in light of COVID, and you describe again the reason and solution through the dialogue circle method. Now, this one specifically, you talk about anxiety, and you also even start there from a personal story where you say that you yourself experience anxiety. So maybe tell us from your own experience, what kind of anxiety do you feel? When do you feel anxiety? Why do you feel anxiety? And how does that relate to that dialogue circle that you're describing? How does that solve it for you? I think this is something that a lot of people would be interested in knowing. So please talk to us about that.
Yes. I think that this is, I would say that every day I wake up, I really don't know what is going to happen now, because really we don't know what the government will do now with this pandemic. Will I have my income stable? I don't know really what is going on. And even there are some sensations that I even cannot even explain. What I can say that I never expected such feelings and such an experience that I could have, because I grew, I studied, I was an engineer. I thought I'm having a promising future, and everything was going by the plan, by the book.
You personally,
Yes,
yeah?
yes, yes, yes. And also, I would say United States, the same. Everyone wanted to get to United States, to America. I also visited the States several times. Yes, so, uh, but I cannot explain myself why is this fear that is attacking me. But um it is impossible to explain it, the reason for it, if you don't have really a new perspective of life, of a new, um, I would call it a new life perception, a new life perspective. And this is very interesting, that what I realized, that all this anxiety, my fears will never disappear. I will keep on working with this, though I feel my heart.
this is not good for our marketing, Benzi. People
No,
came
no,
here for
this
solutions,
this
come
is
on.
this is the beginning. Okay, the beginning.
And let
But
Stop
me
it, don't
just
you told me he
let
was
me
going to
just
be a good
add
no,
guest.
no,
let me
no,
just
no, no,
add that for those who didn't
no,
read the
no.
article,
I need to end
uh,
with, yes. The
but
article
I'll
has a
just
good
say
happy end. It
I'll
has
just
a
say
happy
that,
happy end.
but it has a tough beginning where Benzi describes, waking up in this kind of very
Yes, I tell my
horrifying situation
what I have realized, that I will never get rid of it.
of
But
anxieties, of the
yes,
anxieties.
yes, yes. But
Okay.
I have a tool, a method to balance this sensation. And this is like two poles, two, like, from one side, I have this anxiety, all these sensations, and that urge me to balance it, to add something new. And this is really, I would say, the motive of these sensations, which they are coming here not just for me to suffer and take medicine and look for a doctor and some psychotherapists, and what, this is not the goal at all. The goal that I should balance it with new perspective, with new relationship, with new perception of reality. And this tool of dialogue circle enables it. One, to experience, and you really feel that this, all what we were talking about, the network of desires, inclusion of desires, all of these phenomena that happens, they can really cure these sensations of anxiety in others,
Oh,
and
okay.
you feel very good about it. But then after you experience it one and other one in a time, you see that this is the way now the life starts to revolve.
Wait. Okay, wait a second. I get I think I get that you're saying that you've discovered that the anxieties, the fears, the concerns are not going away, but they make for a foundation on which to build something. They are the backside of something else. They are the beginning of something that you can transform. I get that. How do you exactly do that? Where does the dialogue circle, what is the dialogue circle method in relation to that? How exactly do you find that, do you take the fear and transform it or build it into something else?
Okay, so you see that without this fear, maybe we would not even meet together this night,
Right.
because yeah, I would not have written this article. Maybe I would not have realized such things, such scunities that I put in this paper, and you would not have read that, and would not have been talking with me about that, and maybe not even inviting me to talk with you. So, because, but now we see how um, this this situation that like I had brought me now to talk to you, to this broadcasting now to everyone, and and now we are kind of having a dialogue circle where we're not doing this, let's say, with maybe all of these rules, and but we do already in the beginning gave all this new perception of reality, start giving knowledge to people who want to participate about the network of these desires and how this network work, how should we include ourselves in network, how should we enjoy, and then we educate ourselves how to feel differently, how to sense something new differently, and only by this we can kind of get to can get rid of this or stuck in these sensations of anxiety and such.
So, okay, what's the importance of having other people here? How does why isn't it something you can do alone? A lot of people say, you experience fears, you experience anxiety, you gotta dig into yourself, find some new motivation in yourself, or love yourself more, boost your self confidence, things like that. Why do you focus on, what is the emphasis here on the connection
So
with other people?
this dialogue circle give you the sensation, you experience that your biggest enjoyment is when you are with people, because these people can are ready to accept you, to listen to you, to feel you, and you start feeling them. So you like widening your horizons, and widening your senses, widening your heart, your feelings, and 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 in the beginning, if you came to this dialogue or circle, and with all those fears, they are vanished because you have widened, like where the blood goes. You have much a wider, um, I would say, a tube now, that you sense much more, and so much blood is now going through this tube, and you
This
and
is this
cures it. So it's nothing,
we talked
and
about
and,
this as
and you feel that this is really what you such sensations, maybe that you were just talking about them, but you didn't know what is supposed to come. But this is really, you discover that this is really a big revelation for you, and you don't want to stop it. You want to continue doing it, and you feel that you are, I would say, feel even secured from everything, because you like found yourself like something that can elevate you, whatever happens, because you always keep yourself connected, and you're never alone.
I would say that that's probably the number one fear also is being alone, nobody loves me,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
We talked at the beginning of the show about when you expand your uh, perception to someone else. When I try and start thinking about what is about other people, how can I understand you? How can I love you? That's some kind of light. It's called like a light that fills that. It sounds like what you're saying now. When you start to connect with these people, you used more practical words than light, but um, it sounds similar. So the fears, the anxieties that people have, the depression, somebody's at home, they're feeling depressed, they're feeling lonely, they're feeling anxiety. These things in and of themselves are not bad to just go take a pill for it or just to do something to to cover it up is missing the point. In fact, specifically, these are the things that can aim us towards the correct solution, is what I'm hearing here. Because without those things, uh, or if they weren't so intense, I wouldn't need a real solution. I might be fine with just Netflix. And Netflix is, it's a good pacifier, but it's not enough to bring world peace and love to everybody, and to give me a feeling of um, of love, of belonging, of purpose in my life. But if all of a sudden I enter into the so here, we have a question. Somebody's asking specifically about there's a lack of movement now. So this process can't just be that I have to sit with somebody and do it. It has to be that it can also be virtual or something. So this guy Sam Donald on Facebook says, I heard if you change your location, you change your destiny. And I'm trying to travel, I'm trying to move, but I want to start this new life. I mean, so what I'm asking, but what I'm kind of saying also is, well, I'm hoping you're going to tell us is, it doesn't mean I have to like go find you in Tel Aviv somewhere and sit down in some room in some, like, how do we move? How do we make this movement? How do I change my location now? How do I give myself a new destiny now? How do I move now without having to go get on a plane or go get in a car? It's like, it's 2:55 Eastern. It's 8:55 in Israel now PM. I want to change now. I want to change my location now. What do I do?
Okay. First of all, you need to, I would say, accept that what is happening now. First of all, you really need to I would say, to expose yourself to some new knowledge, that what we mentioned so far. So you can do this, like my side and the other sides of the wisdom of Kabbalah, that can come and which explain first of all about this transition that we were talking about. This is one. That here is a transition. This is already gives you a new perspective of what is happening. So you know that you are not losing something, and this is a big point. We are not losing now anything. We are, I would say, the contrary. We now earning something new, but in order to earn something new, I need to give up to what I have now in order to buy something new. Okay, so so first of all is
So what are
to
we giving
listen.
up and what are we gaining?
Okay, so that's what, first of all, that's first of all what we need to study about. What is this transition? What we are giving up? What we are going to gain now? And then how should we experience it? So the tool, the dialogue circle, makes you to experience, to feel all of the things that you may study about this new transition, about the goal of this transition, about what are the expected changes that should happen after this transition. It's not something that will end, but can evolve. So you understand that you are already in like a new mechanism of life, and you just identify yourself with it. So once you identify yourself with what is happening and you understanding, you start to like it, to love it, because you understand what is happening, and that's already gives you a big answer, a big enjoyment, and then you start to develop it by yourself and dedicate for this more time, invest yourself for this, and then you as we mentioned, this dialogue circle, you start to meet more people, because now what is good that we are all found in the same situation, and this is not something we should neglect. This is not occasionally or something. This is really something that makes us really we are experiencing the same things, and this help us even to come to a common solution. So
Okay. Benzi, we have two.
once some,
Oh, sorry.
yes.
We have 2 minutes. I just want to
Okay.
nail it. So,
Yes.
Asaf, we do need a 2-hour show at some point because it's not enough. But we also have friends here from Norway, Philadelphia, Brazil, Ghana, West Africa, and Ethiopia. Maybe everyone, we see the questions here. Maybe Benzi, we could do one more. Um, if Lisa Rosenberg on YouTube says, "What if the anxiety?" No, sorry. If Heather Brown on YouTube says, "What if the anxiety is a result of something physiological instead of something emotional?"
Yeah, does that apply to any kind of anxiety?
Yes. I'm not a psychotherapist, as I said, but it doesn't change the new perspective, because anything that I suffer from, whether it's mental or physical, comes from all my attitude, my own perception of reality. This is only a result. So once I identify myself with something new, with a new I, an upgraded I, which is included, it will include others, that I will develop myself. I am develop myself with the aid of the others. So all of this phenomena will disappear, because this will be balanced with the other, and this is really the medication, is to feel the others rather than to feel my problems.
All right. All right. Whew. We reached the other side of the circle. You know, we were talking in the beginning of the show about how everything that's happening to humanity right now is like a wheel that's turning, and even though we think we're moving backwards or moving upwards and downwards and forwards and backwards, we're actually only moving forward. And I think this is also very true to everything you were describing for us today. That if people connect and in that method that needs to be learned, and we will probably have to bring you on uh, in a more with a more specific aim to just dissect that method and present it to people in a way that they can just take it and use it. So we'll do that too. I hear that a lot of people
We
on
are
the
now being recreated now.
we're being recreated. Yeah, okay.
Yes, right now, yes.
So this is it for today's great transition. Seth, you wanna send us off with the
Mm.
final words?
I feel like this is like a show to re-listen to. There's a lot going on here, and yeah, I hope we get a chance to open these conversations up a little bit more, because we didn't even really get into the meat of. I felt like Benzi was like flying us over the landscape to try and lay everything out, and we didn't get a chance so much to go into the mechanics of how it works. But it's happening. Nature is recreating us, and our opportunity now is to not just be beaten until we recognize what it means to be connected with everyone, that that all of the anxieties we fear, all of these different things that come up from us, all these desires that arise, they all need to be fuel towards this connection, and not towards towards that's what they need to be.
All right, we're gonna let's say thanks to everyone, to all the wonderful burning desires for a new world connecting from all parts of the world. Thank you, Benzi, Dr. Benzi Giertz, for
Thank
being
you.
with us. We will be here once again Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we have a surprise gift for everyone who joined and is with us still until the very end of the show. We have a great, fun song for you guys that we never played here before. Again, it's a gift from friends around the world who share the same aspiration and inspiration for a whole new connected future. So let's enjoy the song. We'll be here on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Gigantic, thinking about all my great friends. Gigantic, thinking about all my great friends. Gigantic, thinking about all my great friends. Gigantic, gigantic, all around the world, connecting points in one desire. All around the world, and so many sparklers in gold fire. All around the world, connecting points in one desire. All around the world, and so many sparklers in gold fire.
The world seems broken when you're living alone. Put the pieces back together, turn this earth to a home. Back as one soul, sparks on every end of the globe. We unite as one flame, turn the hate into smoke. Love will arise, I see fire in my friend's eyes. Heart beating for the goal, love is covering crimes, yeah. Shekel after shekel goes into the bank. Effort after effort, brothers got your back. Everybody praying only for the 10. All we got, we paying only for the friends. And he gon' finish the work. One heart, one soul, love gon' cover the earth.
All around the world, connecting points in one desire. All around the world, and so many sparklers in gold fire. All around the world, connecting points in one desire. All around the world, and so many sparklers in gold fire.
Hello, friends.
Ain't nowhere else that I wanna be.
To come here,
It's just the friends that I wanna be.
many obstacles
The friends I wanna learn from.
for me.
Yeah.
and
Tell me
many
what's my
friends.
purpose. All my life
wanted
I've
to
been
come
searching
here for a really,
until
really
I
long
finally
time.
find you right now.
I just
And all my life I was searching,
really
lost in myself
felt
until they lifted me out.
calling here
I don't know nothing but what I know.
by the friends
That you're my brother, let's come
been
close.
taking care of me to
And one man, one soul,
smallest detail.
all together right now, let's go.
Coming here
Yeah,
really is no other
last
perception.
generation, know that we came off
The
for
friends are
nothing.
the
Now we
greatest.
get into a higher elevation,
The friends are the greatest,
vibing in
and
the
this
same
Congress
vibration.
will
Yeah,
change the world.
you my brother, ain't no replacement.
Nice.
And I don't know nothing but the friends.
All around the world, connecting points points in one desire. All around the world and so many sparkles a single fire. All around the world connecting points in one desire. All around the world and so many sparkles a single fire. All around the world connecting points in one desire. All around the world and so many sparkles a single fire. All around the world connecting points in one desire. All around the world and so many sparkles a single fire.
I got so many European friends, gigantic. Thinking about my South American friends, gigantic. Thinking about all my Russian friends, gigantic. Thinking about all my African friends, gigantic. Thinking about my Australasian friends, gigantic. I'm calling out my North American friends.